Alright, so last time we left off, you guys just finished getting past the dragon and going through the Dragon's Peak cave. You guys exit the cave and you see a winter wonderland outside. Piles and piles of snow. The temperature drastically drops as you guys exit the cave. You guys look at your map and you guys follow along Dragon's Peak, going from rock to rock to avoid, monsters and dragons that are flying overhead. You guys approach, a large cave opening. Let's see. You guys are able to sneak in through this cave opening. As you enter, a searing heat and a drastic change in temperature occurs as you guys enter into the cave. A large cavern spanning the distance of a city opens up, and some houses carved into the walls of the cavern. Large buildings, as far as the eye can see, can populate the area within the cavern. A castle sits upon a series of stairs at the center of the cavern, with statues of what look like dwarven kings lining the sides of the building. You see paths, you see trolley trails, you see pulley systems, you see stairs that are carved into the rock surfaces that go from house to house. Everything seems connected into like a complex traveling system. You see fumes of smoke and heat erupt from the furnaces and blacksmith buildings and drift upwards into the vast darkness of the cavern ceiling. You guys have officially entered Grandillum. Roll a stealth check for me. Just borrow.
Alright. 14.
14. Alright, so you stick out like an odd thumb. You see dwarves everywhere. Vital and Frizz Freak kind of look the part. They're the same height as everyone else, but considering you're a human, you stand out and like immediately you draw the attention of civilians. You guys see that? What's a human doing here? Someone get the guards! Hurry! You see the large commotion kind of just spread like a wave throughout the city, and like almost immediately you're surrounded by dwarven guards dressed full in dwarven steel and like battle axes. They escort you over. They escort you towards the dungeons, but you see another soldier walk up and like whisper between the soldiers, and they direct you towards the castle instead. You guys are all bound, and they shove you into the throne room and close the door. You see on top of the throne a stout dwarf with a regal crown over his head. He kind of just stares down at you guys, and he's like, "You guys with Merlin?"
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Man, y'all couldn't make a more stealthy approach. All my guards almost had your heads. Well, shit. All right. All right. He takes off his leather glove, and underneath you see a set of brass knuckles. He takes off the knuckles, and he places them onto a golden box. He kind of gestures to you to come up and get it.
All right.
And then he you see him grab into his actually, yeah, he gestures for you guys to come up and get the chest.
Mm.
So you approach, you grab the chest, and as you look him in the face, you see he has a nose ring on him, a large nose ring between his what is it called, the septum?
Yeah.
And on that nose ring, you see a small pebble imbued into the gold. You back away with the box, and he says, "These are the knuckles of Antonoch. These are what I offer the great god." So you look down, and you see a pair of sapphire knuckles. I guess I'll go into the effects. So you're able to expend one charge to control elements, which is a cantrip. Within 30 feet, you can mold fire, wind, water, life, and earth in any manner that you want. Any damage you do with the knuckles do an additional 1d6 cold damage. And yeah, you can shape the land as you will. You have 8 charges, and it regains two charges every day. But
this is a made-up item, right?
this is a real item, but you guys probably won't be using it.
Alright. But I guess I gotta put it in the inventory. What is it called again?
Knuckles of Antioch.
Alright, there we go. Yep. I got it.
Alright, so he's you stow the chest away along with the knuckles, and he kind of just continues to look down on you guys from his like throne. Who else do you need to see now?
The Elf King.
Elf King, huh? I guess you'll be going to Alv. I can let you pass through Grangelum's Pass as prisoners, or I can have you thrown out and you go back through the cave that you just came through.
Let's go through the cave.
Alright, so he gestures for his guards' return. They go ahead and knock you out and they bind you again, and they literally just throw you out the city. You guys fall face first into the snow, and yeah, you see the guards kind of sneer and like you see one of them you see the leader kind of have to like get everyone to come back in and not just slaughter you guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they go ahead and throw you out the city. You guys travel back north. Say again?
Or hit the cave or the path?
You guys are outside. You guys are just in the snow. You guys head north again, back towards the Dragon's Peak cave. And you guys go ahead and navigate through the caves. You head north to where you found those 2 elves and the dire wolf, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys go ahead and work the puzzle door, since you guys know what the answer is now. You guys work through that, and you guys enter to the cave, down the long hall, and you you see the light of day as you leave the cave, and you're surrounded by literal like a force of nature, literally trees and shrubbery as far as you can see. Let's see. So towering trees full of foliage make up the elven lands of Alv. You see common beasts and monsters kind of just roaming around, but these are all kind of low level. You guys have pretty much made it just about halfway into the forest, just coming out that cave. You hear deep, powerful roars and growling from like different areas of the forest, and you can feel like a presence, almost as if almost the same presence you felt when you ran into the dragon coming from these areas. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep progressing the story. You guys go ahead and walk between the trees. You guys don't see anything. You don't see any elves. You see a couple animals scurry by. You see no monsters either. Surprisingly, it's almost as if you're just lost inside the woods with like no one but yourselves. Let's see. So as you walk in circles, for hours on end, you finally you finally are met with some sort of change in the environment. You see arrows kind of just rain down from you, and connected to these arrows are like nets, and they literally just trap you and root you to the ground. You see an elf walk forward. He's you guys again, huh? I spare your lives once in the cave, and you guys want to come back and die? What do you want? And you see it's the younger elf that of the two that you met, the one that told the older one to just spare you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You see him approach, and he said what he said. Yeah, so he just asked you guys, what do you guys want? Why are you guys here?
We're here to meet your king. We have only but the quest.
Hmm. I don't think the king's gonna want to meet you. Not a bunch of non-elves.
We mean no harm. We'll put the weapons away also.
You see him kind of think a little bit. All right. He whistles, and a large dire wolf comes forward. He goes ahead and disarms you guys and takes all your gear, and kind of just like throws it onto the back of the dire wolf. And he guys leads you towards just deeper into the woods. But this time, as you guys are traveling, you feel you feel as if you passed through a magical barrier. And like immediately after you take a step through the barrier, you see you literally just see a civilization of elves, wooden huts built into the branches, uh, planked walkways. You see buildings made out of stone and stone tiles and wood. You see elves practicing with bows and magic. You see large wolves kind of like walking around. You see large elven ballistas being constructed and dragged away. And at the center of the civilization, you see a tree the size of a mountain, um, and a castle built at the base. You see a green dragon partially stick out from some of the branches in the tree, and you just feel the rope. Like you guys are just awed by it, but you come back to your senses when you feel the rope that's tied around you, kind of just pull you forward as the young elf leads you towards the castle. He approaches the castle, and the other elves stop him, and you hear him explain. I found these travelers. They're prisoners now, but I want to see what the king has to say about it. The king? He would just have them killed. Why bother bringing them here? And you see him like start to notch arrows and pull out scimitars, and he's like, "Well, that's not for me to decide. That's for the king to decide. It's not for you to decide either." And you see him kind of tug the rope, and like you guys take a step forward, but like you see the other elves kind of like begin to prepare action, and you see them just kind of stare down each other. All of a sudden, you hear almost like a magical voice envelop the area. It's not a loud shout; it's literally just someone talking, but everyone in the room can hear it. Proceed. And you see everyone just immediately sheath weapons and like stand at attention. You guys enter into the castle, and you see the room is enveloped in roots, and you see the roots kind of congeal at the center of the room and form a wooden throne. There sits a young-looking elf with long blonde hair and a silk robe, and a wooden crown imbued with gems and gold sitting on his head. He kind of just waves off the elf that led you in here, and he's like, you see him kind of just relax a little bit. He kind of leans on his armrest with his hand against his chin. Long travels?
Yes, sir.
Well, this should actually be close to your end. This should be your final visit, correct?
Yes, you are the final visit, and you are the most stubborn.
Stubborn, you say? Did I not let you into my throne room?
Yeah, bound by rope.
Better than dragging you in by your head. You're lucky you're on Merlin's side, or else I would have just slown you from the beginning. You kind of just you kind of see his eyes kind of like narrow a little bit, and he's like, fucking disgusting humans. You see him clap his hands, and the branches kind of just start to weave forward, and they bring wrapped around one of the branches. You see a golden rope. Let's see. He turns to the ring on his hand. Imbued on the ring is again a small pebble, and he kind of like whispers to it. He's like, "This is the rope of climbing. May this please your holiness." And like he kind of just he throws the rope at you like haphazardly, and he's like, "We will escort you out. Any more time you spend in our sacred woods is a crime to us. Just turn tail and leave now." And you see, So the rope is basically a golden rope, and it can self-animate and move within 60 feet of itself, and like self-tie, and like if you end up using it to climb, it could like it could self-hoist. You know what I mean? It's just a magical rope. Yeah, they pretty much he pretty much has you guys escorted back out the woods. He has you bound and gagged and like kind of dragged behind a wolf up until you guys are thrown out of the woods. Your gear is kind of strewn everywhere on the floor, but you guys exit LV safely. He threw you guys out. If you look at the map, it's pretty much the west side of the LV, so east of Resmar.
Alright, so we gotta return to Merlin, right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's walk back to New Haven.
Alright, so you pick up your scattered gear, ensuring that none of the offerings are damaged, and you return to New Haven. New Haven. Alright, so as you approach New Haven, you see that the streets lay desolate with trash and debris scattered around. The buildings sit empty and abandoned, or boarded up and locked. Looters and bandits can occasionally be seen peeking from the corners or from inside alleyways. So again, typically you would have to fight your way through New Haven, but you guys go ahead and like approach. But you see the bandits kind of like scurry away when a white horse is heard dashing through the streets. On top of the white horse, you see a wizard with a big hat and a big beard, and really tall, almost as if he doesn't fit the horse. All right. He approaches you guys on the horse, and he like scans over you guys. I see you guys have made your way to the Three Kings.
Yes, we have.
Good. Now,
yes.
Yeah, there's some bad blood between them, but now that you have the offerings, you can go ahead and present them to the great god.
And where is this great god located?
That we don't know, but considering you have the pebble, you should be able to locate him.
Pebble? Is this just a mere ordinary pebble?
So you pull out the pebble, and like you kind of look it over, and it like to you it literally is just an ordinary pebble. And he looks at it, or he kind of looks down, and you see his eyes kind of like, like you see like it kind of glisten, like he like he's jealous, and he's like, yeah, that's the pebble. Because you've been bestowed with a pebble, you should be able to find him. Head head north, and the pebble will guide you.
The pebble's not
So
doing
he,
anything.
so you leave New Haven, right? And you guys head north, all right?
Alright.
And as you guys approach Resmar, you kind of feel something tugging in your pocket, and like you pull out the pebble and you see it start glowing, like it pulsates a little bit, and it kind of like starts to float, and you follow it north east. It kind of floats at a leisurely pace, but as you follow it, off in the distant horizon, you see a farm start to appear.
Uh-huh.
So you approach the farm. You see pigs rolling in the mud, cows grazing the grass, birds chirping from the tops of the buildings and the fences. You see a bear kind of lumbering around for a walk, and you can see that the fields kind of need a good tending, and there's work to be done. You know what I mean? But it's a cloudy or it's a sunny day now. The weather's perfect, and as you approach this farm, the pebble kind of just disintegrates into like a blue powder, into nothingness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear a familiar voice. Daggum, what brings y'all around here again?
I was following the pebble. It showed me to the farm. I'm looking for the old guy, or whatever his name is, for the sacrifice.
Sacrifice? Oh God, I don't know nothing about that. But did you get my items from Scott?
Items? Are you the old guy?
I don't know about no old guy, but didn't I send y'all to meet Scott for my invoice? I paid you a gold coin, did I not?
Didn't Scott say he was gonna bring it to you later?
So you see he's kind of like flustered. And you see that you're flustered. And he kind of sees that you have a stick strapped to your back. And he's like, Daggum, you do have my items. Give it here.
What? Alright, hand him the items then, I guess.
Alright, so you present him the items. And he kind of just like looks over like these magical items. And he's like, Daggum, the only thing here that I wanted was this stick. Why is all this other junk here? Daggum. Scott better tell me what's going on. And you kind of see him like look over, and inside of each of the boxes you see kind of like you see like a gift card. Not a gift card, but you know how like it's pretty much a gift card. Not like spending wise, but like
Yeah.
it has a message in it. You know what I mean?
You mean a letter?
Yeah, kind of like a letter. Not quite a letter, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's pretty much a letter inside the box, and you see him like kind of look over it, and he's like, "Man, those dang whippersnappers keep sending me all this garbage." And you see him just like, "Well, whatever." And you see him tie one end of the you see him tie the shield to one end of the stick with the rope, and you see him tie the knuckles to the other end with the rope, and he's like, "Well, I guess it works for a new shovel." He kind of just throws it into like close to where you guys were working the dung heaps. Kind of just throws it over there, and he's like, "Well, I guess that's it. You guys did good. If you see Scott, tell him next time to bring me everything, not just this junk."
Man, Scott's a fraud.
So you guys spend the night eating and relaxing with Danbar. Come morning, you guys leave for Resmar to look for Scott, right?
Mm.
No signs of him. And you guys decide to go back to the farm. But as you guys walk through the Great Plains, no matter how far you go and where you look, you're not able to find the farm. Ultimately, you give up, and you kind of just think back to like everything that's happened. You fought off an army of invading walrus men and purple void creatures from the Mirror of Dead Men. You met with the 3 great kings of the Mixing Pot region. You strode past a dragon and passed through Dragon's Peak, which is said to be a no man's land since time begun. And you guys pretty much saved the world, the region, from full-on war. And it kind of just dawns on you because the adventure wasn't quite what you expected, but you sit back and realize it was a good adventure. It was a good, weird adventure, and you plan to live with it in your memories, fond memories. All right, and then the end.